Hi, everyone. This is Tom West with the Green Dot Group. Real excited that you're joining us today for a quick crash course on the multiple Lean Six Sigma belts and their roles. So, before I dive into each of these roles, I want to call out two quick things. In this, I am not showing the project manager or the change agent. That doesn't mean that those two roles aren't important. It's just not that those are often things that are documented within the Lean Six Sigma body of knowledge. So, the project manager is someone who's oftentimes credentialed or trained through a project management body of knowledge. Probably the most reputable is the Project Management Institute or PMI. So those individuals, they're very technical in regards to the ability that they bring to the table. They're great project managers. They're good at coordinating resources and facilitating the development of plans, and that those plans, as they are applied to take ideas forward, those plans are monitored and ensured that they're effective in achieving the result. And if they're not, it's the project manager that oftentimes facilitates the conversation around modifying that plan and adjusting it in order to get the project back on track. So that's a very important resource to any transformation or improvement journey. The other role is the change agent. So this is someone who's oftentimes an expert in communication and getting buy-in and helping individuals to understand the importance of the change, but also to engage and participate in the change. So the change agent focuses on the human side. So both of those skills are really important to any improvement journey. I apologize they're not on this slide, but I wanted to celebrate those and bring them up. Now, returning to what we see on the slide here, I want to talk about each of the belts. So this is kind of a cool story. Now I can't validate it, but I think it's pretty effective that these belts, they originate um, from the martial arts practice and they follow the story of a seed. So I tell this story in our white belt program online. So I won't dive too deep into it, but basically the white is the immature seed. And that seed, develops through gaining sunshine, and then it shoots its initial sprout, which is the green, and then it begins to harden and mature, which is the browning, and at that point it starts to bear fruit. And then beyond that, as they gain expertise, they start to be self-sustaining, and their role is to not really invest in their own growth, but more to invest in the growth of others. So black belts and master black belts, their primary roles are to invest in training and teaching and mentoring the next wave of belts that can help the organization continue to advance. So I thought that story was a lot of fun. I wanted to bring that up here. So let's look at the white belt. This is the entry level role for Lean Six Sigma. And primarily, this group of individuals are your eyes within the organization that'll help raise the flag when they identify an opportunity for improvement. So, in order to do that, they need to know where to go with their ideas, and they have to have the terms and be able to describe that problem that they're seeing in a way that individuals will be able to understand the business case and what that opportunity is so that they can make decisions about acting on it. Your next level is the yellow belt. So they have more advanced training than the white belt. They get more hands-on experience as well. So the white belt training is probably anywhere between an hour to 90 minutes. The yellow belt can be a half day to a full day, and in some cases, 2 full days. So a lot more training occurs at the yellow belt level. And what these individuals are gaining experience in is the problem solving process. So many organizations that are going to have a standard for solving problems. And for us, we like to use A3 thinking, which is asking important questions as you're trying to improve. So questions like, what's the problem? What's our goal? What are the issues? Which of those issues are root cause? What are your ideas for improvement? How would you act on those ideas? Now that you've acted on those ideas, what results are you seeing? So in a lot of ways, it's following PDCA, plan, do, check, act. So these individuals that are getting the tools they need to navigate that problem solving process. So they know how to write a problem statement, they know how to write an aim statement. So these people, they have the starts of a great toolbox to be effective in leading change. However, they don't have enough experience leading change to take on bigger, more complex projects. They often lead local level efforts identifying waste and finding ways to reduce that waste and to simplify their processes and maximize the value that those processes create. The next level beyond that is the green belt. So again, they have similar overlap in skills from the green belt. A lot of organizations require green belt has the prerequisite to, sorry, requires yellow belt has the prerequisite to green belt. So they do have the yellow belt skills plus additional training. So they go a little bit deeper. Their toolbox gets a little bit broader. So in answering the question, do we understand the problem? The yellow belt may only write a problem statement and survey a handful of individuals to get ideas around how they should articulate that, whereas the green belt is probably going to know how to write a business case. They're going to know how to conduct more advanced voice of the customer survey techniques. So they go a little bit deeper in the toolbox, still answering the same improvement questions that the yellow belt would answer, but they have more tools to do it. The other thing that differentiates the green belt is that they have a basic understanding of applying data to the improvement journey. So they know how to develop a data plan, they know how to conduct baseline data capture, they know how to trend data and be able to, at the end of the project, indicate that the improvement that was made, in fact, was an improvement. So they have a little bit more data savviness than the yellow belt does. Yellow belt typically relies on subject matter expertise as their data source, whereas the green belt is going to rely on KPIs, key process indicators, as their data source. A green belt does serve oftentimes as the prereq to the black belt within organizations. Now, in getting your professional certification, that's not always true. Individuals can test right at the black belt level if they feel that they have the expertise to be successful there. So within organizations, however, black belts oftentimes walk this improvement journey from white belt, yellow belt, green belt, black belt. And the reason for that is that they're homegrown, so they understand the culture and they're able to fit the culture, which can be a good thing, but sometimes it could be a bad thing, because they're groomed within that their thinking is siloed and contained to just the organization. So that's not always ideal, but I've seen it to be effective. To mitigate that, sometimes you will see organizations hire black belts from the outside. To do that, oftentimes it is more expensive to acquire a black belt in that way. So black belts, why are they so valuable? Because they're the part of the workforce who's oftentimes 100% dedicated to leading improvement projects. So it's their full-time job. Whereas everyone else, they're dedicating time and energy in a more limited capacity. So you may see green belts dedicate about 1/4 of their time, yellow belts about 10% of the time, and the white belts really, it's just ongoing. They're not really pulled into projects, but they're just expected to always be thinking about opportunities for improvement and suggesting those things. So you can see everyone, the time and energy they spend doing improvement activities differs. Again, the black belt is the one that does it almost full time. At least that's what's recommended, is to have your black belts fully allocated so that their primary focus can be leading projects and setting those projects up for success. The other benefit in having them full time is that they've got the capacity to teach and train and to develop others. And oftentimes it's your black belts who are teaching your white belt, your yellow belt, your green belt class. Beyond the black belt, as those individuals gain expertise and have enough experience to be effective in leading transformation, you'll see them grow to be a master black belt, which is a professional certification. Not very many individuals hold it, but it is, I think, an important skill set for organizations to be effective in their continuous improvement journey. So the master black belt facilitates strategy and helps to define the culture of continuous improvement within their organization. And most importantly, they helped establish project governance. Governance is the oversight of all the improvement activities that are happening within the organization, and they're kind of like air traffic control. They're helping to make sure that these projects don't compete with each other and that they're always adequately resourced and in a good, healthy state. So being able to have that level of transparency to see all the projects occurring, oftentimes in the form of a project funnel, and to know the health and status of those projects, often in the form of a toll gate review or a project report out, is really helpful for organizations to have a pulse on their progress. So outside of that, they teach upwards. They often coach leaders on the desired behaviors of Lean Six Sigma and the improvement culture that they want to see be created. Oftentimes, though, they outside of those teaching responsibilities, they'll help to co-author the training materials that the black belts are using to teach the lower level belts within the organization. So the last one on here is the sponsor and the champion. So the champion is more of an advocate. They believe in the program and the culture, and they help to promote that. So oftentimes they're going to be one and the same. The sponsor, they're a little bit different. They have direct responsibility for the success of a specific project. So I list these two together, but they are slightly different. So the champion is more cultural driver and role modeling the desired behaviors. The sponsor does those same things, but they're applying those behaviors not to just the overall success of the improvement journey, but to the specific success of a certain projects that they're responsible for overseeing. So they help to select and prioritize projects, they approve resources and remove barriers for those projects, and most importantly, they're visibly present. So great resource to have within your organization. If you aren't developing sponsors or champions, you might be limiting your ability to impact change. So thank you for tuning in. I had a lot of fun sharing with you these multiple improvement levels and of expertise and the roles that each belt plays. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please continue to check out our other content on our website and on YouTube. Thank you.